First of all, I start off with the 2 litre bottle. That's all I did for that was empty it out, cut off the top. Fairly simple. I then got a beer bottle, cleaned it, got rid of all of the paper on it, and I then superglued a protractor to the top, I believe, or one of those triangular ruler things that no one ever uses. But all that's supposed to do is hold it on top of the bigger bottle, and you'll see the pictures later on and how it worked. After the glue's set, what you want to do is get your silicone ready. So silicone, I got a 2 kilogram one, or 1.5 I think, and literally it's just like paint, and all you're doing is mixing the paint, mixing the silicone, and then you're adding in this blue dye, which was actually the hardening stuff. So mix that in, made sure it was evenly blue, and then I put it inside the mould with the rig ready. That was fairly easy, took about 20 minutes. Make sure to put something really heavy on top of it and stable, because of the thickness of the silicone, it's really buoyant, so you want to be careful of that. So we let that set for about a day. I let it set for 15 hours because it was absolutely perfect after 15 hours. I then cut it off, cut the plastic off, and cut it in half essentially, leaving the bottom intact. So it was almost like split except for the bottom. This will allow ease of access when you're removing this very brittle sugar glass bottle afterwards. So after you've done that, it's time to get your sugar glass ready. Here are the sugar glass ingredients. It's water, cream of tartar, liquid glucose, and granulated sugar, as well as any dye you want. Liquid glucose is the British equivalent of corn syrup, which I found in many guides. Essentially what you want to do is, I think it's 2 cups of water, 3.5 cups of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, and 1 cup of liquid glucose. And you want to shove them in an old pot and turn the heat up, and you want to cook it slowly. You want to bring it to a boil very slowly, or else it will go yellow and it will make it look horrible. Because the sugar caramelizes. I learned that the hard way. That takes roughly about 35 minutes. Apparently you're supposed to get up to 150 degrees, which I didn't have a thermometer for, which I think I suffered for later on, so I think next time I'll do it, I will get a thermometer. So after you've done this, add your dye and pour it into your mould. And I did this by pouring a bit of it into the mould, not much, and then coating the insides of the mould by rolling it constantly. And after I felt that it was well coated, I put it in the fridge for about an hour and a half, and that was plenty of time for it to settle. So here's the result of probably about a week's worth of work. This very limp looking bottle. When it came out, it looked absolutely fine, but as soon as it seemed to have hit the temperature of the room, which room temperature, heating was on, etc., it started to bend. Just holding it, it started to melt almost. It was very malleable. It was pretty hard to understand what had gone wrong. And as you see, if you can see there, there's a lot of it's collected at the bottom of the bottle. And I believe that's just because when I put it in the fridge, I put it up upright. So I'm going to try putting it on the side the next time. So I figured I'd put it back in the fridge. So I put it back in the fridge, and 2 minutes later I opened the fridge back up again, and it had become that limp, horrible thing you're seeing now. So I figured I may as well film it now, because I was putting it off to film tomorrow, because it was going to be light tomorrow, and it was night time at the time. So I decided just to see if it smashed outside. Went outside, threw it on the floor. It did smash absolutely fantastically, and I've got some pictures of them here. I'm fairly impressed with the results, considering it's my first go, and next time it will be 100 times better. Still don't know if it'll actually maim someone if I hit them over the head though, because it's quite thick, and they're saying that in the guides it shouldn't be over 1 centimeter thick, or else it could damage the person you're smashing over the head, ironically. Anyways, thanks for watching.